MedBix Webcast is a new kind of healthcare media channel to break the silo mentality and foster interdisciplinary thinking. Our mission is to fill that gap and to create a curiosity through different lenses, tapping the passion that guided the historical figures in medicine and bringing present-day groundbreaking research to the front lines. We interview physicians and leaders in the industry about present-day healthcare challenges on our live programming. Welcome to the MedBix Webcast. This is Raman Anamaraju, host of the MedBix. Thank you for joining. We have a very interesting, the program, everybody knows how it works, but today, if you remember or not, I did a show on the Ji Hong from a Chinese pharmacologist, is a Chinese physician. What he did was he was doing some medications for some compounding with the Xinhua natural products. He was doing with the malaria treatment. He was doing at the time. He's a second century Chinese physician. So what he was doing is he taking a Xinhua, a Chinese crab, a Chinese wild grass, and then putting in the hot water and giving it to them, and as a treatment of intermittent fevers, which is turned out to be malaria. So then there is a Dr. Tu Yu. What she did was a Chinese herbal chemist from China. What she did was she took that Xinhua and then she extracted the compound called artemisinin compound. And then that became the savior for malaria patients. It is still saving. That is one of the drugs they use for malaria treatment even now. Millions of people. Novartis produces the artemisinin compound, and they gave a license to artemisinin. So this is actually we have to really admire these natural chemists. So when there is I used to, when I was a kid, I used to, one of the Ayurveda doctor used to tell me, where there is a problem, there is also a solution there. Not too far from there. That's what he used to tell me. So I'm going to talk with a distinguished chemist. He is a natural, he's a natural medicine chemist. He's like a Ji Hong. He's a modern day. He has 2 PhDs. Let's talk with him. Let me bring it to. His name is Dr. Manikyam Hemanthkumar Manikyam. Welcome, Dr. Hemanthkumar Manikyam. You have a long name. You're from your neck of my woods back home. But tell me a little bit about your background. What do you do, and what is your qualifications, educational and professional qualifications?
Yeah. Thank you for bringing me on board. So myself, Dr. Hemanth. So when it comes to my education, I came from the South India, from Andhra Pradesh, Nellore district. So till BSc, I did my education in zoology, physics, chemistry as a triple major from SV University. And I did my MSc in biochemistry from Periyar University. So later, I kept on working in the natural product research. Even my career started in natural product chemistry from plus 2, even at very younger age. But the plus 2 was my intellectual growth stage on the natural product chemistry. And my interest towards it got attracted. So, and after my PG, I did some jobs in developing the natural products divisions. Later, during working, I did my first PhD from Meghalaya University in the liposomal encapsulation drug delivery system.
So Meghalaya University is in the northeast frontier in the border of China.
Yes, almost. It's Meghalaya University is almost in the northeast side of India, which covers Bhutan and China.
Okay. So the next you got a second PhD, right? You have 2
PhDs. My second PhD is from Arunachal Pradesh. It is basically in the Faculty of Sciences in the Natural Product Chemistry Division. So this is developing the anti-cancer drug by using the berberine hydrochloride. It is one of the natural product isolated from Berberis aristata plant. So I worked on the hepatocellular carcinoma, and a new pathway I have identified by using the berberine, how the berberine is inhibiting the hepatocellular liver cancer cells in a simple terms, so that pathway I have discovered, and that's how my second PhD, went well. So
Okay.
that's completely in the drug discovery and pathway discovery for the cancers in the natural product chemistry division.
I understand. I understand physics, but chemistry, a lot of scientific terms are all mind-boggling a little bit for me.
Yes,
But a little
yes.
knowledge of chemistry, I can talk with you a little bit about it. But you have a two PhDs in natural chemistry. Most of them are you're finding the natural signaling pathways or pathways of the cancer treatment and all those things, right? If I understand.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Now let me ask you, what are you doing? What company you're working right now? What do you do now?
Now, presently, I'm working with the Swan Infratel Group, and where we are having a parallel called as the Swan Herbals Private Limited. So, where in this we are developing the complete purified phytochemicals by the green chemistry process. Green chemistry is the upcoming science technology where to isolate and purify the natural molecules without using the toxic chemicals. Because ultimately humans has to consume it. So, reducing the toxic solvents is our aim, and yeah, and also that affects both the health of the people who are consuming it, and also the environmental hazards can be reduced by this process.
A lot of scientists and a lot of people understood during the doctors also understand during the COVID times that that vaccines are encapsulated by the lipid proteins. Tell me about that technology, how to encapsulate the medicines into the liposome technology, which is the encapsulating the drug into the drug delivery system through the lipids. Can you explain that technology, where it came from?
Definitely, sir. Actually, the encapsulation technologies are different types of encapsulation technologies are available. So, out of which liposomal encapsulation is one of the oldest methodology. Usually, in traditional ways, usually it is existing from thousands of years. When it comes to the Ayurvedic system of medicine, there is a preparation called as a Grita preparations and oil in water emulsion preparations. So oil in water emulsions preparations usually they get encapsulated like a liposomes. That is the nature of the lipids when we drop into the water hydrophilic systems. So they engulf the whatever the drug that is solubilized in the solvent or the media. So the lipids form the coating around the solvent where the drug is present. The drug will be at the center, and the lipid layer will be around it. So this is the liposomes. So liposomes sizes may vary from 100 nanometers up to 300 nanometers. So which is a nanoparticle size. So 100 is most better, and 300 is okay. Still, it is good. So, like this, liposomal encapsulation technology is not a modern technology. We given the term liposomal encapsulation technology, even though the ancient traditional preparations or oil and water emulsion preparations are already do exist from thousands of years. So, this is how the liposomal encapsulation technology been developed from time to time and took its name as an encapsulation technology.
But it's getting a lot of popularity now because of the vaccines and other things. It is taking a different tone for the cancer treatment. Can you explain on that one a little bit more?
Yes, yes, sir. As you mentioned earlier, liposomal encapsulation technology is presently used in the vaccine delivery systems, particularly for the RNA and DNA vaccine delivery systems. Why? Because the RNA and DNAs are very prone when they are into the human environment. The foreign RNAs and DNAs will be easily attacked by our own immune systems and will be degraded at faster rate. There are a lot of enzymatic and cellular environments present, but liposomes is one which is a vascular traveling system. It's a vesicle. It's basically a vesicle. So the vascular is a system where it carries the mimicking. It is just mimicking the blood cellular vesicles. So where the particles will be easily transferred to the cellular environment, and the RNA and DNA will be processed there easily. Just we are what you can say, we are just mimicking the cellular environment, which is called as the vascular transport system. So by being the lipids, they are easily absorbable into the cellular, because every cell is made up of this bilayer. It is a lipid bilayer system. So that's why again the liposomes are also lipid bilayer system, where the binding will be very easy to the cellular membranes and easily will be delivered into the cell. So this is how the liposomal encapsulation technology nowadays use it for the vaccine development, particularly for the RNA and DNA vaccines.
What so if you are using that kind of technology, what are the natural products relationship with the cancer, particularly this products delivery system, lipotechnology is playing the role,
Yes,
liposome
there are
technology?
a lot of research is going on in present days, particularly to enhance the bioavailability of the natural products. Natural products are very sensitive molecules, even to the light, even to the acid environments. That is the pH. We call it as a pH. Our stomach acids are very strong. When the drug is gone into the stomach, it get affected, it get modified. It has got the pharmacological changes. Natural products are being sensitive to this type of environments. The bioavailability as well as efficacy will be hindered by this property. So that's why the liposomal or encapsulation technologies and drug delivery systems, the modern drug delivery systems, are helping the stability of the natural compounds or natural drugs or natural medicines or natural supplements in the stomach environment more safely. It also in the proper by enhancing their bioavailability, because stomach bilayer, the villi of the stomach, is also made up of the cellular environment. So the bilayer lipid encapsulations or encapsulated medicines will be easily absorbed. So this is how it works. So natural products will be more stable in this form.
I have two friends who are really close friends and kind of friend, very close friends. They're going through a very tough time right now, the cancer. So, are there any promising in the Westerns, for example, Western medicine is working on it. Is there any natural product side there? Are there any advances coming up in treating the cancers?
Present day, there is a system called as the integrative medicine system, where even the Western world is applying it. I think it may take time for completely integrating the systems. It's a holistic approach of integrating the different medicinal systems based on the patient's individual patient quality of health. We almost nowadays we call it as a personalized medicines. So in personalized medicine system and integrated medicine system, the patient character, the health diagnosis, after diagnosis, his health conditions, everything is monitored. So his diet, nutritions, medicines, everything will be integrated, including the alternative medicine will be integrated into this system. Even lot of the including MD Anderson Cancer Research Institute and a lot of cancer institute are working with the natural product as adjuncts. And there is a latest drugs called as epigenetic drug development, where I'm doing a lot of research in that field. Epigenetic drug development is one of the most advanced research which presently taking very much importance in the research field, particularly in developing the cancer drugs, where the herbal natural products are playing very key important role, including the adjunct therapies.
What kind of so I will talk about epigenetics in a second. What are the herbal products are promising in the cancer side of the treatment?
Yes. So there are a lot of herbal phytochemicals even already approved by FDA as a pure molecule. So they've been into the cancer therapies in the chemotherapy like paclitaxel. Paclitaxel is a molecule isolated from the yew tree, so from the bark of the yew tree and from the leaves of the yew tree. So it is a molecule which it is used for treat the lot of cancers, including the breast cancer. One of the prominent drug. Okay, and it is a pure natural compound. It is approved by FDA as a drug. And vinblastin, this is isolated from Vinca rosea plant.
What
So
is that?
these are
What plant?
vincristin,
Can you talk a little bit
vincristin.
slower,
Yeah,
Hemanth?
yeah,
What was the? I speak fast too, So
yeah,
both we speak fast. Nobody understands except us.
yes.
So, what is the other rose plant? You said that from the rose. What are the herbal compound you got it from the
Yeah, it is
rose?
called as a Vinca rosea plant, Vinca rosea. So this
Okay.
is also one of the ancient herb. It is there in the traditional Ayurvedic system and also some of the traditional medicines throughout the world. So they've been used for treating certain type of cancers from the ancient times. So in the recent advancements of cancer drug development, the scientists has isolated vinblastine and vincristine. These are the two drugs alkaloids isolated from the Vinca rosea plant. So this plant usually is an ornamental plant we can see in our gardens,
Yeah.
and it is used to treat the blood cancer, leukemic type cancers, and other type of cancers, including pancreatic cancer. So it is also approved by FDA. Like this, there are more
No, I
than
mean, if they, I'm not talking about just FDA approval. What are the possible? What are the things that potential treatments that working on? What are the natural herbal products from India? Which trees, or are any potential treatment options there in the cancer side? That is the one thing is devastating the world right now. So are there any herbal products related to India that is really can be effective in the future, or working on it?
Definitely, India being the one of the countries which follows the Ayurvedic system of medicine, which is the ancient medicine more than thousands of years. So this system already has got a treatment for cancer. More than 4,000 years ago, the Ayurvedic system of medicine has mentioned about the different types of cancers and their makeups and what treatment should be given. Even though more medicines not being mentioned in the text, but very few medicines are mentioned. But they have mentioned the classifications of cancers called as the gilmas. We call in the Ayurvedic system called as the gilmas and arbudas. Arbuda and gilma is a type of metastatic and neoplastic cancers, which is already classified 4,000 years ago in Indian Ayurvedic system, which is already mentioned. So the lot of more than there are in India, there are more than 80 herbs are present which are can be used in the cancer treatment. Most of the Ayurvedic practitioners in India are trying to do the research, and also the many public private industry companies and research organizations are putting their efforts in developing a lot of natural products to treat the cancer.
Can you give me 3 to 4 products, natural products in India, as a potential treatment for cancer? What they're using usually?
Usually, the curcumin is the first priority from turmeric, and the second thing is the berberine. It is isolated from Berberis aristata, and there is two more molecules which is usually isolated other than the curcumin and berberine, the boswellic acid, and also we have the piperine. We have the which is from pepper, and also we have some alkaloids from which is isolated from some of the herbs, so which are used to treat the cancers. So even they have the proven the in vitro, that is the in laboratory cancer research, they have proven well in comparison with the existing medicines in the market. So I think a lot of research still to be needed to be advised and developed in this method. Other than because I wish those medicines should come into action. Being the developing countries, cancer treatment is always a costly affair. So where the economical medicines should be developed at faster rate, because the alternative medicine by integrative system of medicine should be brought in, where the cost of medicine can be reduced and the families can be supported well.
Yeah, you're absolutely true. We spend more than $1 trillion in the United States. Still, we don't have a perfect solution for the cancers. People are suffering. We need to find all the possible solutions exist in the world and bring it to the forefront, not just the one type of promotions that we are stuck to. I think that's going to be, people like you will be invaluable tool. I'm going to present my presentation. After that, I will come back and ask you what are the things that you are trying to do, how people can help you from the United States, and I will ask you from there. I'm going to do something related to the natural products, psychedelics. That's a Manikyam. His name is Hemanthkumar Manikyam. He's from my hometown. He's very close to my home state. I'm surprised to learn about. I was surprised to know about that. But I'm going to talk about psychedelics, science of psychedelics. It's a very good um, things to. I think we can. You can let me bring him to the table. I'm going to bring both of us to be can watch, and he can criticize me. if my presentation is, or you can add anything to my presentation, you are more than welcome, Dr. Kumar, Dr. Hemanth.
Sure,
Okay.
sir. Sure, Mr. Raman.
So in 2020, we are all stuck in the COVID times. There was a woman. Her name is this article appeared on the Medium story on Medium, is a very popular online magazine. Erin Boltzweiler, she was diagnosed with the stage 4 metastatic breast cancer, terminal cancer. She was so she has two young teenage children. She was consumed by dying thoughts, and then she went to the one of the doctors, rehab doctors, Dr. Sunil Kumar Agarwal, another Indian doctor. So he wanted to prescribe her for this process to psilocybin, a psychedelic drug made from psychedelics. So, but the problem with that is in the United States, psilocybin is declared as a Schedule 1 drug. That means drug with no currently accepted medical use and high potential for abuse, because that is what the Schedule 1 definition is. So they don't allow anybody can give psilocybin to anybody. That's not possible. So what she did was she went to both of them filed a lawsuit in the U.S. Ninth Court. There is actually Trump administration passed the Right to Try Act. When in the last stages of life, you can do everything, you can throw everything to them, you can try all the possible treatments, you can try. But still other agencies are reluctant, because understandably so, because there is a lot of potential abuse there. So, but anyway, they filed a lawsuit in the U.S. Ninth Circuit Court in Seattle. Both of them, Dr. Erin and the Dr. Kumar, both of them filed a lawsuit in Seattle. So, so psilocybin, what it does? What is psilocybin does? That's I wanted to show you what the psilocybin does. Before that, I'm going to play a video just to talk about something that little bit about that video, so you will know about psilocybin and everything a little bit on that one. I'm going to explain that. So let me show you that, guys, that video. For mental relaxation, early human civilizations in the East practiced Buddha's teachings, while in the West they performed rituals. One place they mastered the consciousness through meditation, and other place they altered consciousness through psychedelics. But there is another alternative technique called consciousness hacking through technological innovation. A mathematical equation through virtual reality can offer and alter and master consciousness at the same time. A genius painter from Japan, a legendary scientist from Princeton University, and an engineer from IBM came from a different walks of life, from different times, made important contributions for consciousness hacking. Benoit Mandelbrot was hired by IBM to solve a nagging problem in the early days of telecommunications. The problem is a noise popping up while sending the data across telephone lines. Noise is an undesirable or unwanted signal that gets randomly added to the actual information carrying signal. Mandelbrot noticed a fixed pattern of noise repeating across the telephone lines irrespective of the distance the data traveled. Mandelbrot recollected seeing a similar idea before, a picture of a giant wave on a children's spiral notebook. The picture is the original painting from 18th century well-known Japanese artist Katsushika Hokusai. It is called the Great Wave of Kanagawa. Look at any part of the great wave, it looks very similar to the whole wave. The whole contains the parts. It looks counterintuitive, but the part also contains the whole. Their artistic expression gave rise to a new concept in mathematics called fractals. Mandelbrot discovered nature's fundamental unit repeated through a geometrical pattern. The same geometrical pattern is present everywhere in the clouds, seashores, trees, and even in the human bodies. The nervous system looks very similar to that of a lightning. The EKG of the heart signal is strikingly similar to that of a noise signal in telephone wires. If you further zoom in into the signal, the strange looking pattern emerges. The pattern is discovered by Mandelbrot, bears his name Mandelbrot set. The nature around you, the snowflakes, trees, mountains are built from these series of Mandelbrot sets. We can also observe Mandelbrot sets at the beginning of life in a woman's womb. The equation that governs the nature is spectacularly simple and displays the nature in exquisite details. Before the public understood the power of the Mandelbrot sets, Hollywood jumped in. The Star Trek movies with the fractals put the movie watchers in a trance. There is a similar, a different kind of a trance was described by an American botanist, a former New Age hippie, Terence McKenna. He frequently experimented with a psychedelic brew called ayahuasca. He chronicled his experiences through books and videos. Amazonian Indians consumed this brew on ceremonial occasions. Terence McKenna claims this brew produced visual and auditory hallucinations while his eyes were closed. He claimed his experiences profoundly changed his outlook on life.
Many of them, and they come pounding toward you, and they will stop in front of you and vibrate, but then they do a very disconcerting thing, which is they jump into your body. They jump into your body, and then they jump back out again. And the whole thing is going on in this very high-speed mode where you're being presented with thousands of details per second, and you can't get a hold on, you say, my God, what's happening?
In recent studies by Johns Hopkins and New York University Langone Special Unit Psychedelic Medicine Center conducted studies with the psychedelic drug psilocybin in a controlled environment. The chemical compound in psilocybin is dimethyltryptamine, in short called a DMT. The studies show a single dose of psilocybin dramatically reduced the depression with the subjects of research. Interestingly, the visual hallucinations the subjects describing look very similar to Mandelbrot fractals. In the years before, Albert Einstein published a theory of general relativity, a profoundly mind-bending way of looking at nature. Mass tells space-time how to curve, and space-time tells mass how to move. Gravity is not a force, it is an illusion created by the bodies moving in space-time curvature. Einstein deployed a very different branch of mathematics called non-Euclidean geometry. We don't experience non-Euclidean geometry in our everyday lives. American Airlines pilot explained this phenomena through a tricky example. The shortest route from Dallas to Hong Kong is first Dallas to Seattle, then Seattle to Alaska, then Alaska to Siberia, then Siberia to Mongolia, then Mongolia to Hong Kong. That is the shortest route. But you see on a flat map, it creates an illusion the Hong Kong is directly right across Dallas. But if you combine Einstein's non-Euclidean geometrical concepts with the Mandelbrot fractals, watching in a virtual reality devices, it is truly a technical wonder. It produces mind-feasting, kaleidoscoping patterns where all your visual channels are fully occupied. It puts you in a trance and gives you same bliss without inducing substances. The fractals are nature's artistic expressions. Now you are in tune with the nature. Welcome to 25 milligram DMT experience without a DMT. Consciousness hacking through technology is a mass mental relaxation technique for modern humans. Thank you for watching. So that is the. I'm going to talk about a little bit more about it. So it is a. So what is also audio visual hallucinations is what is psilocybin is doing? What is psychedelics do? Let us examine that a little bit. So it does produce the audio visual hallucinations. It creates a weird geometrical shapes. They see weird deities. You see sometimes Indian gods, sometimes moving strange kind of stuff. That is a serotonin receptors. Hemanth can talk about it a little bit more. Serotonin receptors are wild, go on wild chase. That is what the psilocybin is doing to open up the serotonin receptors and creating these audio visual hallucinations. That is one of the things he's doing. The second part he's doing is the sense of oneness. It's a kind of abstract idea. Disrupting a default is what it is: a loss of place, lost in time, loss of self. You forget about yourself and you lost in place and time. It's kind of a very abstract and godly, divine feeling. How did this? How do you can? How can you get that? What is the reason? What is scientific thing behind that? It is a. It's actually what is psilocybin is doing is disrupting the default mode network. A brain network is called default mode network. What it is, even when you are in a wakeful state, what it does is the brain does automatically its own. When you are not thinking about anything, it does something strange. It talks about each regions of frontal cortex and the other regions. They talk to each other without your intervention. There is no conscious effort. So this is called a default mode network. There's a lot of research going on. So it is also self-referential system. Even when you're dreaming, daydreaming, or wondering about it, it is also always tell you where you are at, who you are. It is always reminding you. But psilocybin does is takes that and it disrupts that process. Then when you do that, you feel like you don't know who you are. You forget who you are, and you're lost in space. You get the abstract feeling of the oneness and divine feeling. That is what the psilocybin, by disrupting the default mode network, it is doing it. But my job is to now see, can we do that without the medications, without the chemicals? Hemanth may not agree with that, but without the chemicals, can you simulate these stimulations that they felt, audio visual stimulations and feeling of oneness? Can you do a mathematical? Can you do without using a substance? And I argue it is. So 3D hyperbolic geometries, for example, they look like this. If you do hyperbolic geometry, is a negative curvature. If you have a flat surface, is zero curvature. Sphere has a positive curvature, and the these are the hyperbolic structures are a negative curvature. Virtual reality programs uses hyperbolic geometrical rooms. That's why you can, very strange thing is if you start in one place, coming back to the same place is impossible in the hyperbolic geometry. It's exponentially gets complicated when you move in the hyperbolic rooms. So but if you notch it up a little bit more, and then you put a virtual reality on the top of it, you will see the moving movies of the deities, 3D fractal. If you add a fractals Mandelbrot sets to it, you can see all kinds of deities, all kinds of divine figures. It just mind-boggling things that you never seen in outside of your life. So it is really, you're producing the audio-visual stimulations you can produce through Mandelbrot mathematics. You can produce that, and you can recreate this process. So through virtual reality, it amplifies the visual channels. You can 80% of your visual channels are occupied now. Your mind is completely focused on these new things and new emerging moving things in front of you. So that is a one. So I'm going to show you one of the things that I wanted to show you, that let me bring that how the audio stimulations look like, that people looked at, and it's just I wanted to yeah. So that's kind of audio visual stimulations you see they experience actually. You can recreate them through Mandelbrot's fractals and other things. Now, the second part of the question is very tough one. Is how do you create the feeling of oneness, divine feeling? It is such an abstract concept, but I can tell you, I will surprise you. Mary Britt Moser and Edward Moser, this is a very underreported, under recognized, is a two Norwegian husband and wife team, two Norwegian professors of psychology and neuroscience at the Kavli Institute, very, very famous institute for the systems of neuroscience. Can you put in the, if you don't put, can you put in the mute? Yeah, thank you so much. So Edward Moser, what they invented is they won the Nobel Prize in 2014 for their invention. They found out in the brain. Hemanth, you can be here. You know, I didn't ask you to leave, but okay. Okay, so I think he put the wrong button and he's coming back. So the GPS cells in the brain, they found some GPS cells in the brain, the grid cells and place cells. The two cells, they're placed in they are in the hippocampus. What they do is they guide you. For example, grid cells tell you you have to meet somebody in the Manhattan in the Empire State Building. It tells you, grid cells will tell you where is the Manhattan is, and the place cells tell you where is the Empire State Building exactly the location is. So it gives you much more GPS cells. He found that those cells create a matrix and gives you the location, geometrical patterns they create, and gives you the actual location and time location. That is very surprising. He won the Nobel Prize. They won the Nobel Prize for that. The grid cells and place cells, they didn't put a great name on it, but it's a mind-boggling cells that in the brain they do that. But actually, you can do photo of the thought. You can see the photo of 50 neurons. Real picture of the 50 neurons is that picture that you can see. You can take a picture of the photo of you can take a picture of the thought. Actually, you can see suspended in three-dimensional geometry all the neurons. There are 50 neurons. You can see that electron microscope and all those. They use advanced MRIs, functional MRIs. So they now started believing nowadays people are thinking about thought is maybe a fractal geometrical pattern. It's assembled, very fractal geometrical pattern. Thought itself is such an abstract idea, could be a geometrical pattern, and place and time it gives you is through the different geometries it forms. But they did the cognitive spaces. They did the yeah, welcome. I want you to be there. Yeah. So the cognitive spaces or hectagonal spaces, that's a very interesting way the cognitive spaces are done in the brain. So the neurons arrange themselves in the cognitive spaces in the geometrical patterns. That's a very interesting concept. Place in cells is a geometrical pattern. That's what the sacred geometry some people call. So this is cognitive spaces. They come out that. But what about the time, passage of time? So in 2011, Dr. Gergi Basaki is a scientist from the New York University. You found the cells that find out the passage of time. They recognize they do record the passage of time. The interesting way they do that is one neuron cells in 10 seconds, other neuron cells 20 seconds, and then they fire same time and compare, so they can tell the temporal. It creates a temporal map, time map. It creates in the brain. These cells create a time map by doing that. So you found out He didn't get the Nobel Prize yet. He's one of the potential candidates getting the Nobel Prize. So you can, in the people with the Parkinson's, schizophrenia, those temporal maps are messed up. That's what they believe in those diseases. The temporal maps, the passage of time, the today, tomorrow, yesterday is all messed up in that process. So these are the cells, a particular cells in a hippocampus are causing the passage of time. That is an amazing discovery by Gregory Vasaki. So, what are the power of meditation? Has a great power. That's what Hinduism and started the meditation process. Buddha is, of course, one of the popularized it. It came thousands of years ago. He started it in meditation. So what he does is, what they're finding out is that meditation naturally disabling place and grid and time cells, either disabling them or lowering the function of the place and grid and time cells. What happens if you do that through the meditation? The magic happens, right? The power of meditation, you get the technology, mathematics and neuroscience, you combine them together, you're lost in space and you lost in time. You create a feeling of the divineness, oneness. A abstract concept is created through technology, mathematics, and neuroscience, that we can do that. I'm not taking away any mysticness about it. Still, consciousness is a very powerful concept. We don't understand it, but still, you can do some extent. A lot of these problems that we can solve, mental health problems, mental health relaxations, is not a treatment, is educational purposes. But there is a possibility that we can combine these new Mandelbrot fractals and the virtual reality and the neuroscience idea of that put together, meditation together. We do it. I follow I do a platform called TRIP, on virtual reality. Is a fascinating, really. It gives you that kind of things. So that you can bring through modern technology and sciences. You can. So Brain Cafe is one of them. So that's why I want to start a Brain Cafe franchise. I want to set up a small places, rooms in doctors' offices, like hair salons, and in medical spas. I want to start this braincafes.com, which is I want to set up the brain cafe that they can experience these things without without using any substances. That is a very power of the brain cafe. The power of the meditation. We can really exponentially increase the value and the power of the meditation. You can really feel it through technology and medicine without using any medicine. Is kind of a VR. Is you can prescribe now. Is a prescription virtual reality in the United States, so you can get a prescription for that. So I thank you for watching. It is a really that's I think mental health. We are in a mental health catastrophe in the world. 1 billion people are doing that. You can see the long COVID is causing a lot of problems. Supply chain, racial violence, for example, is causing another one. Financial burdens is then it is suicide. It's unbelievable right now what world is going through. We need a lot of help. I think brain cafe kind of things without putting a psilocybin on everybody's head, we can solve this problem. Or some of the natural products Hemanth is suggesting, we can solve that kind of things. So thank you for watching. So you watch that 5 minutes of meditation a day. Mindful meditation can change your life. There is that is one of the special molecule that you can. It's called anandamide in the Sanskrit word, bliss molecule. You can invoke that, and actually you can feel that pleasure. And then that's a natural way. So we can ask. I will bring Dr. Hemanth to the table now. So Dr. Kumar, yeah, Dr. Hemanth, tell me.
Yeah, it's really the great presentation you made on the psychedelics, and also the physical part of activating the consciousness, and other part, and the mainly the that's very important thing. Without substance. Okay, that is a good concept you are coming up with. Yes, it is. It can be done practically. These are possible. This is the entire universe is the matter, right? Ultimately, the physics and chemistry rules. So the substance is the chemistry part, and the activation by the physical means also can be done. So the physical activations, like the brain is completely having the cognitive features. It is having the perceptions, perseverance. It is also having its own environment, which is governed by the physics and chemistry rules completely. So the physics comes first usually. The physics brings the mechanism of action. The byproducts are the chemicals reactions. So that we have to follow that. And the concept of bringing the alternative to substance, in improving the cognitive features, particularly for the patients who are into anxiety disorders and long COVID disorders, so who are suffering with the depression and the neurological disorders. It will be the great move at this present situation. Being the most of the substances like psychedelics as well as the CBDs, cannabinoids, even though they are coming under Schedule 1 and the controlled drugs regulations. So people, most of them cannot get benefit and cannot get the access to this substance. So discovering the more physical mode of applications, as you said, like meditations, and by Mandelbrot creation of visual effects, virtual reality effects, where we can activate the hypothalamus and the cortex of the brain, where we can bring the time together and collapsing the individuality and bringing it to the oneness, we call technically. So okay, so that makes a person to feel like substance and take him to the other world. Usually this is all about the consciousness of the brain, how it is being trained. So these physical things also matters a lot. They have the ability to work
You know,
equal to substance.
Dr. Hemanth, it is actually it is the visual nowadays. VR is a prescription. So in India, that's India for art therapy, or the see the meditation, yoga. All those are all artistic effects on the brain and mind and the body, and all of them together. So you are people like you are helping in that, identifying these products. If you're any in the United States companies, a lot of these pharmaceutical companies, or some of them can do work with you, and then your company, I don't know what is your company name is, explain a little bit of it. So they can partnership, probably they should fund it, because you people like that, you may find that solution like a Ji Hong found for the malaria. So that is the two Dr. Tu you found the solution for malaria. We may find something major things that for cancer we are really need in help of cancer treatment. It is a devastating, and the two diseases right now, two things are affecting the world. It's the cancer, the second one is the neurological diseases, the onslaught of neurological diseases. And the cancer is just unbelievable. Younger, the more younger and younger people are getting the cancer now. There's more starting at the age of 30s. In fact, it is sad. And it is really, we need to, as humanity, we need to get together. You're from India now, you're talking with me from India. This technology can help to do that, and we can find a coalition to solve the problem. What are the things that you think from United States can help you, or United States companies can help you, or to further do your research?
So definitely it will be great helpful for us to conduct in such research work in bringing the more economical way of alternative medicine that support the existing chemotherapy or the cancer treatments. So that should be the main motivation. In India, being having the wide range of cancer patients, and being lot of cancer patients being affected in India. Even the survival rate in India is very less when compared to the Western countries, because of the financial status of the patients here. That is a very bad condition. So people, most of them doesn't have the access to the medicine and treatments. And even the diagnosis is a key important thing in the cancer. Early diagnosis can save a lot of lives. But the problem in India, we don't know the proper early diagnosing systems, and even the cost is also a problem. And where, if the countries like Western countries can collaborate with the research institutes or the organizations like us, we can come up with the more economical solutions, and which can benefit lot of people who really need the medical treatments for cancer. Because I always suggest the integrated system of medicine in present days, by integrating the including allopathic as well as the alternative medicines together, in personalizing the medicine to the patients, which can bring the more advancement and more therapeutic outcomes, we call it as scientifically. So that will be more beneficial ultimately. In when the cancer goes to the severe stages, either we should give the pain relief to the patient. Depression, that is a pain in terms of physical pain as a mental pain, both are very much horrible in terms of this cancer. So we should bring the lot of things, relief in these cases, pain relief management for the
What
people.
is the name of your company, Hemanth?
Yeah, presently I'm working for the Swarn Herbals Private Limited. It is
How
based
do you
in
spell
Delhi
it?
NCR. Swarn, Svarn.
Hmm.
Swarn, it's nothing but gold,
Hmm.
in
Swan
our
is a goal,
terms in
yeah.
Indian language. Swarn Herbals Private Limited. Actually, it is a recent one. It's a new one. Even our mother company called as a Swarn Infratel Private Limited. It is one of the big company in India. They're having more than 10 branches in Delhi, into 10 diversified businesses. Now, recently, they invested into the herbal phytochemical research and developing the green chemistry molecules for catering the different types of healthcare sectors, in providing the better healthy ingredients to all pharmaceutical, nutraceutical, and cosmeceutical food industry. So we want to provide the better herbal based ingredients to all one with a good quality. So and also we have the very good research facility in our laboratory.
I interview a lot of medical oncologists, radiation oncologists, and same time I wanted to listen to the all spectrum of ideas. That is a place to be, not one way bias, the other way bias. We need to listen to and extract the better things, best things out of it. So then we
Yes,
may learn from each other from all these things. It is
yes,
truly
sir.
an honor to talk with you, Dr.
Thank you.
Professor Hemanthkumar Manikyam. It's from my neck of my woods. It is truly an honor and a privilege to talk with you. I think you contributing people like you could eventually. I strongly believe there will be a place for people like you, and in the history of medicine, in the future of medicine, that will play a role in treating these fatal diseases, cancer and neurological diseases. I think that you would be, well, Ayurveda and people like you would play a very critical role. Thank you so much, Dr. Hemanth Kumar.
Thank you for bringing me on board, Mr. Ramana, and giving me this chance to explain about my research works. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and also sharing our ideologies. Thank you so much.
We are retelling their stories through our patented designs that can be worn on scrubs, t-shirts, printed on conference bags, and endless other promotional materials. Daily Wear for Medicine is the first ever of its kind to create curiosity in medicine through visual art. We at MedBricks are celebrating unsung heroes of the past who made enormous contributions to the field of medicine through our unique campaign called Daily Wear for Medicine. You can wear it, carry it, and give it